Hello students, welcome back to the day 4 of power sharing. We'll continue from where we have left in the previous class. We have discussed about both the case studies extensively, what has happened in Sri Lanka, what has happened in Belgium. Now we'll move forward towards the conclusions. Why it is important, why power sharing is important. The topics that we'll study today are reasons of power sharing, the categorization, prudential and moral, why power sharing, need of power sharing, advantages or benefits of power sharing. So why power sharing is important, what is the need of power sharing, what are the benefits or advantages of power sharing, all are same. With this video lesson, the expectations are that after the end of this video lesson, you'll be able to distinguish between prudential and moral reasons, and you would be able to point out the need of power sharing. Now, from the previous classes, we are very clear. Any which ways, power sharing is something which is good. No question about it. Now, what are the reasons for power sharing? Why power sharing is required? Why power sharing is good? We can categorize the reasons into two categories. One is prudential and another one is moral. So all the reasons, all the justification of power sharing would be categorized into these two categories. Let's understand what are these two categories. The first one is prudential. When we say prudential, that is based on profit or loss. When you do something, there is a reason behind it. Very simply, scientific. Practice maths to score good, right? Study hard to get maximum marks. So whenever there is a particular relationship of profit or loss, such reasons are prudential. If you are doing something, there is a reason behind it. So that says that it is prudential. Another category, moral reasons, which is based on morality. Morality says what is good, what is bad, ideal conditions. It talks about ideal conditions. For example, we should respect our parents, right? So this is something which is an idealistic view. It is good, we definitely should, but you would not ask the reason behind it. You would not ask why. But in prudential, you ask the reason, you get an answer. For the moral, you do not ask the reason. You simply understand, okay, we should touch feet of our parent, so that is moral. That talks about morality, respect elders, love children, moral. You would not ask why. So, why would be like justified. As you have already understood, the meaning of prudential reasons, which is based on profit or loss. So reasons based on prudence, that is profit or loss, is called prudential reasons. Prudential reasons stress that power sharing will bring out better outcomes. So it tells that if power sharing is implemented, the results would be undoubtedly good. Prudential decisions are usually contrasted with decisions based purely on moral considerations. So prudential reasons tells you that yes, there is a reason behind it. This is the logic behind it. However, in the moral reasons, it doesn't tell about a particular reason. That is something which is just ideal. The example of prudential reasons you can see here is reservation. Like reservation has been given to the backward communities, there is a prudential reason behind it. The prudential reason is the upliftment of the backward communities. Now let's talk about the prudential reasons for power sharing. What are the prudential reasons? So the first thing, very simple, it reduces conflict between social groups. So if power sharing is implemented, like we have seen the example of Belgium, it reduced all the chances of conflicts between the Dutch speakers and the French speakers. Another point, very important, it ensures stability. The government becomes stable. No issues with the government if power is shared. It ensures unity of a nation. There won't be any chances of partition of the country. There won't be any chances of differences among the people. So of course, in that case, the country would remain united. It avoids civil war situation. If Belgium would not have adopted power sharing, there might be a possibility that there could have been civil war as well, like Sri Lanka. Reduce the feeling of hatred, dissatisfaction, and establishes harmony. Of course, so any feeling of hatred, dissatisfaction, and dissatisfaction would not be there, and it would establish harmony among everybody. Now the next thing is imposing the will of majority community over the minority may look like an attractive option in the short run, but in the long run it undermines the unity of the nation. So majority community puts his desire on minority community, like we have seen in Sri Lanka. And we have found that it is okay, it has been suppressed. Finally, the Sri Lankan government were able to suppress the movement, suppress the minority, and eventually, forcefully, they established peace. So it's looking okay in the short run, but yes, in the long run, it is undoubtedly a question mark to the unity of the nation. The next point here is tyranny. Okay, that is the use of absolute power, like monarchy, kingship, of the majority is not just oppressive for the minority, it often brings ruin to the majority as well. So, if majority community establishes its tyranny, uncontrolled uncontrolled power, then it is not only harmful for the minority, it would be harmful for the majority as well. Because if they would fight, if there would be unrest, if there would be conflicts, then majority would also suffer. So we can see all these points support and tells you about the prudential reasons for power sharing. Now let's talk about moral reasons. What do you mean by moral reasons? So it is based on morality, as we have discussed in the previous slides. It is a representation of idealistic view. What is ideal, what is good, what should be in the society. It emphasizes the very act of power sharing as valuable. So it says that okay, it is valuable, it is good. Why it is good? You'll not ask, right? Because it's not prudential reason. So in moral reasons, it is good, it is idealistic, it is valuable. Example is decentralization. So decentralization means giving powers to the lower levels of government. For example, central government, state government, and local self-government. So that is decentralization. You would study more about decentralization in the next chapter, which is federalism. So we have got an idea about moral reasons, that it is something which is ideal, and we do not ask a question for that. So while giving moral reasons, you would use should sentences, right? So you would use should sentences that shows that it is good, it is ideal, we should do it, the best practices. Now, what are the moral reasons for power sharing? Now, power sharing is the very spirit of democracy. It means it is the soul of democracy. We should understand it. Participation of people should be there for legitimate government. Legitimate means something that is authorized by law, which is correct, which is good, that is something which is right. So, if there is a legitimate government, the moral reason says that people's participation is necessary, it is important, it is inevitable. So, there should be people's participation for legitimate government. You can see here. Next one, people have a right to be consulted. Hence, power sharing should be adopted. Got it? So you have got these things with the should sentences, and the first one clearly says that it is soul of democracy. So we are very clear what are the different moral reasons for power sharing. Now we have something to discuss. Look at the picture. You can see the picture here, and it is showing the German government, fine German engineering. We all are already aware that German technology is considered one of the best in the world. So when you look at this cartoon, you can see here the cartoon at the right refers to the problems of running the Germany's grand coalition government. That includes the two major parties of the country, namely the Christian Democratic Union and the Social Democratic Party. The two parties are historically rivals to each other. They had to form a coalition government because neither of them got clear majority of seats on their own in the 2005 elections. So imagine the situation that two major political parties who are completely against each other, and because of the challenge in the country that no one got majority, and you all know it is really expensive to have elections. So after the election in 2005 in Germany, what has happened, that the two major political parties of the country, namely the Christian Democratic Union and the Social Democratic Party, both of them came together and formed a coalition government. Let's compare it with India. Imagine BJP and Congress combining together and forming the government, both with different policies. Similar situation happened in Germany, and it had become very difficult to run the government, but still government run. So that shows that power sharing plays an important role whenever we want to control a situation, whenever we want to have a strong nation. So a strong nation, a controlled nation is possible with power sharing. Now guys, it's time for the assignments. So All the assignment questions are based on what we have studied today. The first question is, write 3 prudential reasons why power sharing is desirable. Distinguish between prudential and moral reasons is the second question. Third, sharing of powers makes a country more powerful and united. Do you agree with this statement? Why? I believe you would be able to answer all these assignment questions. Thank you and have a great day.